Heyo, and welcome to another Wheel of Time Books in Review with Razyel Kayne and myself, NinjaBill Reviews. I want to welcome everybody to the new year. It is 2023, and although we missed November and December of last year, lots of stuff going on, holidays. I hope everybody had a fantastic, holiday season, and hope all as well. Hope your new year is going well. But to start us right off, Razyel Kayne, introduce yourself to everybody where they can find you.
You can find me in Canada, man. But yeah, I'm Razyel Kayne, and
I'll just,
I do.
pop right on over. It'll take me about 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure, okay. But yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Discord. Maybe I should list my Discord. But I hang out on Discord from the TF Reviewer
Hmm.
channel. So yeah, and you can find me. No, that's pretty much it. I don't. Oh, tformers.com, of course, the greatest website in the community, I think.
I would agree. I would
Yeah.
agree.
I mean, TF World 2005, it's okay. It's just the whole forum thing. It's
Yeah,
kind
the,
of
the
old.
forum thing is played out, honestly.
Yeah, I think it is. I
So,
mean,
yep.
yeah,
And I am Ninja Bill, obviously of Ninja Bill reviews here on YouTube, which is where you can find me as Ninja Bill reviews here on YouTube. You can also find me as Shinobi Birru on Facebook and Shinobi Birru on the aforementioned tformers.com, which is a fabulous website. I suggest you all go, just like I said in the name, tformers.com. Go check it out. It's awesome, and I post content there. Raz posts, tons of people post content there daily. I don't do it daily, but there's lots of new daily content there, so make sure you go check it out. Um, and this is once again the Wheel of Time books in review, and we are on book 11, The Knife of Dreams. And I got to tell you, it is one of my favorite books in the series. Yes, yes, the classic cover. And if I'm not mistaken, it is the last book that Robert Jordan wrote before his passing. So
you're
uh,
not mistaken. This is exactly it. Now, I love this cover here.
I
You
do
mentioned
too.
classic cover. I can't stand the newer ones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
The
need to go
classic
with the
covers are
one.
the best.
And then, but what's really cool here is that this is an actual scene. That's when I realized that they were exact depiction of a scene. And that's when Perrin asked whoever that is, it's an Aes Sedai,
No.
and he's asking her, "Tell me exactly where my wife is," and she keeps deflecting and deflecting and deflecting. And he's like, and then he's pointing at the map, "Tell me
Oh,
where it is."
Ghislaine. Yeah, yeah. When Perrin is talking to
Yeah.
Ghislaine. Yeah.
And what's really cool about this one is here you have the former spy master of the White Cloaks, Children of the Light, who's now working for. Oh no, that's a Nash Shaman. I just saw the
Yeah,
blade.
yeah, yeah.
I thought it was the. So that's
That's
I
an
can't remember
Asherman.
his
Yep.
name.
That's Logain.
No, no, no. Logan was never with Perrin.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. No, he was with he was with
It's one of
Rand.
it's one
Yeah.
of his people, but it's not Logain.
Yeah.
So yeah, did you
Narashima. Narashima. That's his name. Narashima.
exactly? So, but yeah, I love those covers. They're good. I put
Yeah,
me down now.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
blown
yeah.
up.
So,
My face
uh,
all
um,
distorted.
real quick before we start out, again, this is the final book written by Robert Jordan. I just happened to read the book last night. I spent most of this week lied up in bed because I was really sick. I'm just now getting over it. But I just reread the book last night, and I got it. And just as Raz was mentioning earlier before we started the show, the book, the way this book starts out is a fight. Literally, that's how the book starts out. Take it away, Raz.
It's I thought you wanted to do pickups first, man.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Go. Well, let's talk about that. And by the way, hello, MCDJ, CDC.
Yeah, I think he's gone now.
Oh,
Yeah, he wrote that a while back, so
yeah.
we'll
Oh,
see.
we'll see. But yeah, go ahead and talk. Let's talk about pickups. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's cool. I'll just show you what I ordered through this here. Hold on. No, entire screen. This here, share. Getting good with this stuff. So this is the Jinbao Oversight Bruticus.
Wow, that looks cool.
And I found it for 119 Canadian, which is about 100 US, maybe a little less,
Nice,
shipped.
nice.
So that's a good deal. I hope it's a good figure, honestly. Um, Jinbao is a little more stylized because they're KOs of NBKs.
Hello,
And
Larkin.
hey,
Welcome.
Larkin. Wow. Larkin in the house. That's cool, man. So I don't know if you've ever watched one of these stream, Larkin, but we're gonna talk about a book series called The Wheel of Time. But we do pickups first.
Yeah.
You have the Jinbao Bruticus or the NBK one, Larkin? Because I'm hoping it's as good as my Devi. So, and my Devi was Jinbao, and I'm not disappointed at all with that one.
Yeah, I'm looking to pick up the MBK one. So Dennis and I was talking about his copy, and he really likes it. So I'm
Yeah, but NBK is a bit small. I don't know.
yeah.
Because I want my combiners to tower. Okay, cool. So he has Jinbao. So
Yeah.
do you like it? Is it good, or is it like a flimsy mess, or it's good? All right, cool. Thank you. So that reassures me because I found it a really good deal. And then the other one I have on order is the Magic Square Red Cannon. So it's side swipe, but the metallic version. So the paint is metallic, and that's because I'm focusing more on the Lambros now for my collection. Like I'll get a version of each character, but I do want a Sideswipe and Sunstreaker self.
Yeah,
So
I like Magic Square stuff. I've got some Hot Soldiers stuff, which I guess is apparently what they called themselves before Magic Square or whatever. I've got a Megatron, I've got a Ratchet, and one other, and I forget what it is, but at the moment. But yeah,
this will be my first Magic Square. Reason is that I'm hoping that they reissue a Sunstreaker. They do. I don't know if they did Sunstreaker in the past, but I'd like it. But I have a Mech Fans Toy Sunstreaker on pre-order. And also, this year, Iron Factory is going to release Sideswipe and Sunstreaker in their Samurai series. So I'm definitely picking that up.
nice. I have a Mech Fan Toys Sergeant and a Mech Fan Toys Medic or whatever they called Ratchet.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty good stuff.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
as I said, Larkin, we're doing. I don't know if you've ever read the Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, a 15-book epic of a
14.
American drama. Well, no, it's written by an American, but it's a fantasy world. And when the series came out, the TV series, NinjaBill was crazy enough to watch it, and I told him, "Don't watch it; it's gonna suck," and it did. So
It did.
now, so
The
now
one good
we
thing I
decided
could
to do
say,
this little stream.
yeah, the one good thing I will say about that new series is actually will hopefully draw readers to the books. So I'm
Yeah,
I'm I'm that's probably the one positive thing I can say about that television series because they decided to take the names and the places and throw out everything else.
exactly. I don't know.
It's awful. It's awful. It's but again because of the awareness of the show now. Hopefully, we people will go out looking for more stuff. They'll see books out there and they'll decide to buy the books and then read those books and enjoy them as much as we do.
Yeah,
And then find out that oh yeah, they shouldn't have watched the crappy TV series.
yeah. It's I can't. My wife's like, "You want to watch it?" I'm like, "No, you
No.
watch it. Don't talk to me about it." She didn't watch it.
So I got a few things. I got uh, um, Jaxus, so I got
He's
him.
so is he as
I,
good as people make it? Like Deluxe
so
told
far
me
I
on
ha-
the stream, he's like, "Dude, you should have picked that up," and I skipped him.
so far I'm not dishappy. I'm not unhappy with him. I like him. My only concern is some color change going on. There's some weird color change going on right
He's
up
yellowing.
here compared to back here. You can see it. Look at that. Look at the
Yeah.
difference, like this mustard and yellow. But on the other side, it's fine. So I don't get what's going on there. So I mean, look, you could see the color variation
Yeah.
right there. But on the other side, it's fine. So I don't know what that is, but
It's lame.
I'm thinking about picking up some upgrade kits that I've seen for this, like Larkins, for
See, I
example.
don't do upgrade kits
I
that
don't
much.
either. More often than not, I don't either. But in his case, I kind of want something that covers this up because
Yeah.
that I think is just glaring to have this. Just it's right in your face, no matter what you do. Uh,
Yeah.
um, so I dislike that. The rest of it, I think, is okay. I will say that
Yeah.
I
Okay.
like that. And I also got my second original one of these because I have the almost all red and yellow version, but I needed the original, so now I have the original Hot Shot. And like I was
Where did
telling
you
Raz,
find it? Like, how did you get this?
my cousin, my cousin
Oh,
still
okay.
had one in packaging, and he just sent it to me. So because I was telling him about the new one that I was looking for the new one, and I do have the missile, but when I took it out of packaging, I couldn't find the missile. I dropped it somewhere, and I don't know where, but I do have
Why?
it.
Why would there be a missile inside the wheel?
Well, because you see, this activates a gimmick here where this whole thing pops up and becomes a missile launcher. This whole rear axle.
Oh, so that's okay. Okay, cool.
Yes, yes,
Because
yes.
I
So,
always wondered with this dumbass here.
hmm
When he transforms, they put the gun right in the middle of the turbine.
yeah.
Like, who the hell puts a freaking gun in a turbine? So
Yeah,
anyway,
that didn't make sense much to me either. I didn't, if it wasn't for that coordination Starscream I picked up, and I mainly picked it up for the stuff, the accessories. I'll be honest, I picked it up for the accessories because I absolutely detest that mold. Hey,
oh,
MCDJ.
he's back up.
Let's see, he said upgrade Hot Shot with flames from their Mata series was cool. Yeah, I have that version. I'm not a big fan of it. So I used to have an original one besides this one here, but I lost a lot of my Martyr toys and subsequent move. So I'm happy to get him back again. So I'll probably, if and when I get the other one, I'll probably be a comparison video.
Did you ever get because if you have all these hot shots, did you ever get the Generation Select retool of this guy?
No, I did not.
Okay, I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
finished Toyaxing him. So this
Oh,
is the
nice.
final G1, not G1, but G1 cast figure that I want to toy hacks for now. Uh,
I want that Studio Series Hound that's coming out, man. That Studio Series 86 Hound, I want that bad.
is it 86? I thought it was Buzzworthy Bumblebee.
It might be. It might.
Yeah.
All I know is that I do want it. I do. It looks so G1. It hurts. It hurts my feelings that I don't have it. But
All right.
anyway, we should probably get on with the book. That was
Yes.
pretty much it. And take us away, Raz, with where we go. So at the very start of the book,
Well, it starts with Galad, who thinks that Eamon Valda, who's the current leader of the White Cloaks, he thinks his mom was murdered by that guy. So he's like, no, that doesn't. And I love how it's done. He just goes up to him, he acknowledges and he confronts and he says he's super loyal about it, super like honest about it. And he's like, I think you killed my mom. I demand revenge. And the
well,
guy's,
he did more than just kill her. He took advantage of her, and
oh, yeah, well, he
yeah,
did.
he
Well, he didn't kill her.
he
Galad
didn't
doesn't know
kill her.
that, but
Yeah,
she's alive and she's with Perrin.
yeah.
So, but Galad goes up to him and he's like, "Okay, I want." But I think Valad still thinks that Valda. I think he thinks that she's dead because of him. Like he doesn't know she's gone.
Yeah,
So to
because he
him,
even
it's like,
mentions he said she was he even insults Glad. He said he was such a good ride. I hope to ride her again, indicating that he raped her. Basically, is what he and in
yeah,
fact he did. Uh, 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 um, and but
yeah, no, he did, and
he was
Galad just
surprised she was
goes and
dead.
click, click, kills him.
Yeah, and she he was surprised that Glad said she was dead, because that's when he said, "It's such a shame. She was a good ride. I'd hope to ride her again." And at that point, Glad had, just
That's it.
how he held his rage in at that.
But he
I'd have
doesn't
been
get
all,
angry. Galad
yeah,
never gets angry. You
I'd have
know.
been all fury and flames, man. I'd have
Yeah,
been,
exactly. Then
uh,
after that, you have Perrin, who meets with the Sanction, and I thought that was cool. Like
oh,
he's
Ty Lee.
negotiating, and he meets the another bunch of Sanction, and then that's when he learns that there's a prophecy of the Wolf King carrying a hammer. So the Sanction, they have all the old omens, they kept all the old traditions, and it's a good thing because it brings a lot back to the story, like it to the this day and age resident of this world. That there's stuff that they did lose, knowledge that they did forget,
Mhm. On both
prophecies
sides.
and stuff that
Yeah.
nobody has any idea what happened.
Yeah, on both sides. On the one side of the Arianth Ocean, you have the main continent where all this is taking place on. They have all their old beliefs and whatnot. Whereas this on the Sanchan continent, they don't believe in Trollocs or any of that, or the Dark One or any of that. They think it's all myth, right? And
Well, they
superstition.
do believe in the Dark One, but the
Yeah,
Trollocs and Mirvral and all that stuff to them, that's alien.
yeah. That's superstition to them.
Which
And
makes technically, I think that's a part of the whole thing that kind of makes no sense. See, they are from Arthur Arking. They go, they're sent by him. So he's 1,000 years ago, I think, or maybe more.
mhm.
And then they go, they keep all the old tradition, but everybody in the time of Archer Hawking did fight Trollocs. Like the borderland was there
Yeah,
since
the
the
Trolloc
breaking.
Wars. He fought in the Trolloc Wars. So
Exactly. So now they go over there somehow in 1,000 years because they don't have, the internet. They forget that there's been the Trolloc Wars, and then they come back. They kept all the traditions, all the omens, all the prophecies, and yet they didn't. Oh no, that's boogeyman stuff. I'm like, eh.
yeah. So it's like, and we get to meet one of my favorite Sanchan characters, which is Tylee Kigrain. Tylee is the Banner General that Perrin meets with,
Yeah,
and she's cool, man. She's cool. She's a warrior through and through, but she's more open minded than Sanchan is, because and she's duty bound, absolutely.
yeah,
Paradoxically duty bound, but at the same time, she's like, okay, I can see value in what they're saying and doing. I can she's more open to receiving that stuff. Like, at one point in the book, she says, if it had been any other Banner General, they'd probably have you killed. You know,
yeah. But the thing is that,
especially when Perrin pulls out this document that basically says, "Hey, look, this is from Suroth, I think her name is."
yeah,
You know,
Surath.
yeah, he pulls out and hands her this document. When they're talking with each other, and instead her, eyebrows rose to her forehead. And when reading that document, because it, granted him almost unlimited power, in the Empire, and which they, later in the book made use of, but that isn't for now. So, and and then when she talks, when she sees Perrin's eyes and the hammer, and they tell him about that Wolf King thing, he was like, Wolf King. Wait, do they have prophecies about me? No, that can't be right.
Yeah, that's the thing. He doesn't want prophecy. He doesn't want. He's kind of like Matt in that aspect. Like, nah, I'm not a. I'm just a guy. I'm not important. But he has a bigger sense of duty than Matt. Matt,
Hmm.
he knows he has to do it, and if he promises, he'll do it. But he wants to get out.
Yep.
That was his thing. But
And,
eventually, he can't escape fate. Not in
yeah,
this world, anyway.
yeah,
So,
and Matt has one of the most. They're all pretty good. I think Elaine's story in this book is probably the most boring.
really,
Very,
because she's
yeah,
dealing
yeah.
with the siege. Well, we'll
Yeah,
get to it. We'll get to it. So you have
yeah.
Perrin meeting, and with Ascension, they're planning to attack the Shadow camp.
Mm-hmm.
And their plan is to put Fork Root Tea, which in previous book has been used to temporarily neutralize the ability to channel in Aes Sedai. And I'm guessing it works on Ash Shaman as well. So then they agree to his plan, and then they're gonna meet up. And while they're waiting, Tam arrives with more people from the Two River. So now Tam is gonna be more prominent in the rest of the series,
Mm-hmm.
and I like that.
Oh
I
yeah,
like to
yeah.
have Tam there because
Yep.
you see him dying at the beginning, and then he's back in book 5 defending, or book 4
Book 4,
defending the Two
Two
River.
Rivers.
You see him, and then you don't see him until book 11. So I like that.
Yep. And
Hold
now,
on,
and for
did he?
for those who do not know, Randall Thor, which is the Dragon Reborn, one of the main characters of the
Mm,
books, right? Tam Althor is his father,
yeah.
and apparently a blade master and a master archer. So he's a
Is it?
master archer and he's a blade master. That Huron
Yes.
Mark sword was his, all right.
Well,
That
he
he gave
fought
Rand.
in the Aeol War
Yeah,
and came back a Blade Master. I just have my memory is faulty. Is it before this book or after this book that the Aes Sedai are going to try to use Tam as a way to control Rand? And he
after
that that's after
it's the next book. It's book
next
12.
book. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, no. The next
Where Cad Swain tries to use Tam against Rand.
well,
But,
she's trying to
and
reach out.
and
That's
we'll
when
get
they
to.
have that fight. Him and Tam
Mhm,
are fighting with they're sparring.
mhm. Well, that's also later. That's also in book 13 or 14. That happens where he and Rand are fighting in a like a forest, and whatnot. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that meeting because that's dealing with how Cad Swain is dealing with them. Like in this book, when they're meeting at the no, I'm jumping ahead. I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah.
So
All right. So now, okay, the Two River Archers. So they attack the Shadow camp. But
no,
while
that's
that's happening, or it's about to happen, Fail, on the other hand, she's dealing with the fact that there's a guy called, what's his name,
Rawl.
Roland, who
Yeah,
wants
Roland
to
Rawl.
marry her and leave, and he's telling her that a bunch of people from the Shadow are thinking about going back to the Waste, and they go to a burnt house, and then there's the whole thing where they try to get the oat rod, and then they have it, and then they try to hide it because they don't want to get punished, and eventually the house falls on top of them.
But that's later
Her
in the book, though. That's much later in the book.
is it?
Yeah, because
No, no, no. I'm there. I'm reading the recap. Galina takes the rod out with her and is able to cause the house to collapse, trapping Fail and her companions.
yeah, but
So they're
before all of that, Matt is and the story switches to Matt, right? And he is busy, with Chuan and the
maybe
carnival
the
that they're
recap
riding
I'm
with.
reading is not in order.
Yeah, and so Matt is trying to juggle the three Ace Sedai, the Merrick domain that was captured that he took with him, the Seta and whatever, and the two Ace Sedai, Teslin, Jolene, and I forget her name, Beldine. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
uh, um, he's trying to juggle them and
Vitamin.
trying to juggle Tuan and Solutia, and he's also trying to juggle Aludra, which is the fireworks lady, that's making the dragons for him. The basically their cannons. It'll be something she's told him she can make, and then he wants to use cannons against the Shanchan and the Dark One, and she can create them for him. So while he's juggling all these personalities, and he's trying to impress Tuan, and they
And
just
he buys her a horse.
yes, and he buys her all
What every woman wants, a horse.
Yeah, and not only a horse, but one of the rarest breeds in all continents. Because she's never seen the like on her continent. So, it's called a razor, and from description, it kind of actually reminds me of a zebra, only much
I
bigger.
don't recall all those details, but I
Yeah,
like the way that
it's
the Matt checks horse. He knows where to check if the horse is well fed, gets enough exercise, and he's like, I don't know if that's an actual way to
yeah,
check a
but
horse.
it was impressive to read though. Like so,
Exactly. It was fun. It was like, oh, okay, that's how you do it. So you place your hand there, you feel for, how thick's the meat, and
yeah,
it
but
was
how many
just
fingers you can fit
interesting.
between the rib and all that, and then I'm just like,
Yeah.
wow.
And
Yeah.
all while he's doing that, and he's finding all these places to check, and he's bringing the price down each time. So that was
Yes, he's
fun.
trying to haggle for the horse, and
Oh, always.
yeah, and so and while he's busily juggling all these personalities and his own, trying to, you know, get everything worked out, the they discover that the Sanchan, thanks to um, the High Lady Suroth, has said that Tuan is in fact an imposter and that all Sanchan have to kill her on sight, and offered a big, huge reward and whatnot. So once
Yeah.
they hear that, they separate from the the carnival, or and that is when Tuan really notices who, because for for the longest time she just thought he was some kind of fool, right? But
Yeah.
but then when he's got to turn and fight Sanchan and whatnot, and the way he just, at one point in the book, she's watching him go over maps, and she says, um, "Matron, toy, a fool? No, no, a lion, a lion. You can put a lion in a cage, but put a lion on the plains, and you will, he will hunt you down." And she said, "Twan, or no," she said, "A toy, a fool? No, and she's watching him as he masterfully sets up this plan. And then even those her own armies that he's attacking with half of the numbers that they have, he just absolutely destroys her.
Oh
Her
yeah.
the band. He gets back together with the band of the Red Hand, and absolute half of them. It's just half of them that Telmain's brought with him. Just half of the hand, right? And he destroys entire Sanchan. You can see it in later parts of the books where Sanchan are getting reports of it must be an army of 200,000, just absolutely routing them all over this huge area. No matter where they go, there's these guys just destroying them, and Tuan has just been watching all this, and she was like, he's unstoppable. He's absolutely unstoppable.
To
And
an extent, he is. I mean, he has such knowledge, and so far he hasn't lost a battle that he wasn't supposed to lose.
yeah,
There's still that
it's just like
aspect of it.
dicing. It's just
So
like dicing. He only loses when he has to lose. When he's met, because if winning would be the worst outcome, then he loses. So
exactly. But
you
I
know,
like how they actually, they do get married in this book. Although to her it's more convenient. It's just like, all right, he's a good strategic marriage to have foot in this land and stuff like that. So
yeah, oh, and that shocked him, because one of her, what they call death guards, is the super elite. What, think of them as dark troopers from Star Wars.
yeah,
Too bad I didn't put it in here. Anyway, point thing is these guys are the hyper elite. Think, the special U.S. Special Forces, right? So nobody could beat them, and everybody fears and respects them, and so Karede, her the one who leads them all, goes chasing after Tuan, only not to kill her. He's the other one that believes that this is the real Tuan that everybody is chasing, not an imposter.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
so at one point, he goes in to visit one of the generals that are leading these armies against, Tuan, right? And the whole time he's talking to this guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're making a good point. It's too bad I'm going to have to kill you."
Yeah.
Every time this guy is talking, he's like, "Oh yeah, that's a good point. It's a shame I'm going to have to kill you." And I'm thinking, "Wow, man."
Oh yeah, no, he's good for that. He's you know, he's not gonna beat around the bush. Like, yeah, I'm gonna. He likes to provoke people too. So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then
But
2-1 goes back to Ebudar, and she just disposed of Surat, who's a dark friend. So
hmm
she's
and
now.
Elaine, meanwhile, which I thought was the more boring of the chapters, but
Oh, come on. It wasn't that bad.
yeah, it wasn't that bad. But so she's busy fighting all these mercenary armies and other women who are trying to get the throne, right? And,
Well, yeah,
and
there's the political fight, and there's the siege of Camlin. Because now everything, they're all surrounded, pretty much. And she has very little forces. She even Burgett asked her, negotiate with the Windfinder to be able to open a portal outside the city so that they can go rescue Elaine.
hmm
But they do capture 5 Black Aes Sedai, and they kill
Black yeah,
Asne,
yeah.
and eventually they're
And that
able to take men to hit back the Armorella's attacking army. So eventually, she's gonna get over that, and it's gonna. I like when there's. I think it's in this book, but they're trying to get. She's trying to hire mercenaries that are inside the city,
hmm
so that they're gonna fight for her, and basically she's able to do it and saying like, look, these other mercenary are going to come and kill us all. I can give you pay and food and all that stuff, and eventually they say, all right, we'll do. So she's, I like it. It wasn't the most interesting story arc she had, but I thought the way she handled everything being thrown at her, really good.
Yep. Well, the one part is when they finally call parlay, quarter parlay, and and they're all sitting in the throne room, and these you know 4 others show up out of the blue who ask for safe passage into Camlin, and Elaine was like, "Haha, I've got you now. Sure, sure, yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell them they can
Yeah,
come right on in. Leave the armies outside the door, though." you know. So
yeah,
they come in there, and this one, was giving her all this attitude, and then Elaine sticks her Aes Sedai, serpent ring in her face, and how dare you use the throne, blah blah. And Elaine just lifts up her finger. She goes, "Oh, I didn't act as a queen. I'm an Aes Sedai," and that shut that lady down cold,
yeah.
just absolutely. She was gawping, she was like, "Oh crap, she's an Aes Sedai." Here I am insulting her, and she's actually an Aes Sedai.
So that's one thing that as the story progresses, people have such a fear and high regard of the Aes Sedai because of the status that they have, and you know all the prestige of being. But you realize that the Aes Sedai are just normal people with petty ego, and but people will bow to
Yeah,
them for no, because we see the other side, right? We
yeah.
see Matt handling them, we see Rand handling them, and even Perrin handling
It
them,
is
and
hilarious, and it
oh yeah,
happens a few times in this book when somebody tries to use an Aes Sedai, or somebody tries to use the power on Matt, and it just just melts off of him, and the gawping and this gasping and their absolute terror, like that one when uh uh Karate, Death Watch come to rescue Tuan, right? At one point, one of their one power users, their Soul Dam, you know, it shields the Aes Sedai that is with Matt. He walks up to her and says, "Stop it," and she just looks at him, and he says, "I'm telling you, knock it, bloody well, stop it." And then she absolutely looked in horror and fell off her horse because she tried to use the power on him and just melted off of him. And
yeah. No, it's just the fact that the power doesn't work on Matt, and the fact that the Rand has control. Like now, everybody's afraid of him, and I
yeah,
understand the point of the Aes Sedai, that it's terrifying for a man to be channeling so openly, because
hmm
they've been for thousands of years they've been gentling them and been told that it's the worst thing that could ever happen to the world.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, but and a lot of the Aes Sedai, like in the tower, don't know that Satan has been cleaned. So the male half of the power has been cleaned, as we know that Rand and Nineveh did in what several books ago. I think it was book 7 or book 8, where they cleansed Satan, and and Rand has a few chapters in this book as well, and
oh yeah,
one of the best is when he and Logain are arguing, there at wherever they're at. I forget, Do My Wells, or I forget where they're at, but then those Trollocs, thousands upon thousands of Trollocs, just absolutely pop out of nowhere, and Lews Therin takes control of Rand's power and unleashes
the Death
things,
Gates.
death gates,
Yeah,
the flower blooms, which are basically giant, fiery, flowery tornadoes.
yeah,
The
but
tornadoes are
that's
sprouting,
when he starts using the Death Gates, like
and
basically opening a portal inside of the Trollocs and closing it super rapidly. So bloop, they just
throwing them
yeah,
like ninja stars, and he throws them
exactly.
literally like that, and he just throws them out onto the field, and they just keep going and whirling and twirling around as they passing over the Trollocs, and
That'd be a nice
and
visual effect. That'd be a nice.
Logain, say again.
That would be a very nice visual effect.
Oh yes, it would.
Yeah.
And then Logain and the other Ashaman, it took them a bit, but they were, of course, their versions weren't nearly as powerful as Rand's.
Oh no.
Smaller death gates, smaller flower blooms, but and they just started copying him. And Logain afterwards, he was like, "You got to release the power, man." But it wasn't Rand controlling the power. He had to actually tell Logain, "Put the fires out. I can't do it." You know, the power's got a hold of me. And it was Lews Therin, Telamon controlling the power, and at that point, Lews Therin was, all rage and everything. And Logain had to say, "Look, seriously, I know you're stronger than me. You don't have to show me how much more powerful you are."
Yeah, exactly.
Rand, he thought Rand was trying to intimidate him. He was
But
like,
it
"Look,
was like,
seriously."
is it by the end of this book or maybe the next one where that's gonna settle down between Lews Therin and Rand? I think it's next one.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. One important thing in the Matt story arc is that he learns from Moraine's letter to Tom Marilyn
Oh, yes.
that she's alive and captured and can be rescued from the Tower of Genji,
And that
which is
happened in
that
the next book.
alternate dimension where they use those Terrangrel to travel and have 3 wishes. So it's the foxes and the snakes,
Which I
which is a
always
child's
found,
game.
yes.
And then
Eh,
Oliver is gonna tell Matt how to get in, which is basically the rhyme at the beginning when you start the game and the little hand gesture that they do
mm-hmm.
to start the game, and that's
Hey,
what.
Ultra Megatronus, how you doing?
Yeah. Oh, we have Megatronus. How you doing, man?
I hope your eye is doing much better, my friend. I hope you're. I hope.
It
Yeah,
starts with
he
the
recently.
blind man, so I don't know, man.
No, he's had some trouble with his eye there, and
Mm.
he's had some work done on it, and now it's hopefully getting better.
All right.
He had surgery on it, and
Yeah.
hopefully he'll be able to come right back to action soon. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's great that and it was cool how Robert Jordan decided to, because it isn't it until almost the end of the last book that people don't realize that little Oliver, right? Just this little boy is probably the single most important person in this book,
Yeah. There
in
was
the
a lot
entire
of
series.
theory at the beginning that Oliver was going to be the resurrection of Bridget's husband,
Hmm.
and because the what's his name, that guy, I don't recall, but because he left the dream world, so now she knows she's reborn. He's reborn, and but a lot of people are saying it was Oliver, but
And he's
we
too old.
find out through another line somewhere that it's not. So,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
like that Bridget told Oliver how to get in. Like she made him realize that's how you get in the Tower of Genji. So, but that's gonna be the next book, or is it? Is it?
Yeah, next book. Next book.
No, that's the Gathering Storm, and then after that, there's Towers of Midnight, which is
Hmm.
when they rescue Moraine.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
And,
or
and,
attempt to
and
rescue.
and it's great how Robert Jordan, wrapped a bunch of characters together. Like there'll be many instances, where Burgett mentions, we'll need Matt Cawthon's luck, and Elaine
Yeah.
is just like, what? What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, he
Like
brings stuff
every,
together, and there's not many loose ends at
yeah,
the end of the series.
yeah,
You
there
know,
really isn't,
so
and Elaine asked her, she was like, I've heard you say that before. What are you talking about? She goes, trust me. Matt Cawthon, have you ever seen him playing dice? And Elaine was like, no, I don't go into taverns and the like. And she goes, trust me, Matt Cawthon is the luckiest man I have ever met.
oh
Now, as
yeah,
we all come to understand through the book series, Burgett lives her life again. She's reborn again and again and again, ad nauseum and infinity. So she had lived at this point hundreds of lifetimes, and
yeah,
she remembers it all. She considers Matt Cawthon to be the absolute luckiest man she's ever met. And even Elaine says, well, Burgett thinks he's the luckiest man. That's saying something.
yeah. Oh, true enough. Like I mean, I love what they did. At first when they pulled her out of the dream, I
Telling
was
you,
like, ah, that's cheap, you
yeah,
know. But then it turned out to be really. Even then,
fascinating.
that's a good story arc in itself. Just
Yeah,
the
and
journey of
becoming
Bridget.
Elaine's warder, and
Yeah,
even in this book, when they're fighting the Black Ajah and the block, and at the end of it, she was like, "Who is that?" And Lane just grins at him, says, "This is my warder," and they're all just dumbfounded, like,
yeah.
"A woman warder? That's impossible." And another one says, "Wait, you knew?" And she's like, "Yeah." She goes, "Why didn't you tell me?" Well, it's impossible. Nobody, women can't be warders, and yet there was Bridget. And
Oh
Elaine
yeah,
says,
Bridget. And she'd be one I'd want to have as a warder too.
"Oh
So
yeah, man, she
hell
she
yeah.
is she is a great character. I mean, just a great character."
So and then Egwin, what's okay? So Perrin, to finish the story arc of Perrin, eventually he does when he attacks and his wife is trapped under a house and he doesn't know, and he basically they're asking Morghese to focus the limited ability she has in the power to wave a flag, a ribbon that's outside, so that's going to signal people to come look. And eventually they do rescue her, but that's when Aram attacks Perrin during the fight, and then Perrin has to kill him.
And Smash, the way he does it, like I said, I just read the books last night. So Perrin sees him through the smoke and fog, sees him holding Fail's hand, or holding his arm, not her hand, but her arm, right, and like pulling her along, and he just lost. He just went absolute full wolf mode, and and just snarling and ran towards him. And when Gull, when Pale screamed Perrin, Gull was just like, or not Gull or Rubal or Rebel or whatever his name was. Uh, um, he heard her say that, and he looked around, but by the time he could look back around, Perrin had his hammer out and just absolutely took him off his feet and killed him instantly with his hammer.
That's
One and done.
Roland, not Aram.
Rolling,
That's Roland.
rolling. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but before that, Aram, who's been following Perrin since book 4,
Oh yeah, the Tinker turned
the
swordsman.
Thinker,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he tries to kill Perrin because he's convinced that he slept with Berlane.
Hmm.
And then Perrin has to kill him. I thought that was really that's a sad story arc. You start
Well,
with the
when
way of the leaf, and Perrin doesn't like you because you won't protect your family. Then a lot of people die, and then Aram decides to pick up a sword, and Perrin's not stopping him because he has a right to defend his family, and then eventually he has to kill him
yeah,
because he tried to, he was. Anyway, it was just like okay, that's a sad tragedy character right there. So,
yeah, yeah. And Perrin regrets it. He said, "I wish I'd never,
oh yeah,
told you to pick up that sword,
you should
And
have listened to Elias.
yeah, and then we also get two chapters of Egwin, or maybe three, of Egwin, who has
Being
been caught.
spanked repeatedly. That's
Yes.
that's all it is. It's
Oh,
her being spanked because she still tells people
oh,
she's the Amerlin, even though
speaking of spanking,
yeah.
Matt
But
and
then eventually
Jolene.
she uses the AL training to
Hmm.
embrace pain. and she's just laughing while the keeper of the novice of the
Yeah,
what's
novice keeper. Yeah.
yeah. I don't think that's novice keeper.
Oh,
Mistress of novice. And she just spanks her and spanks her and
trying to
spanks her.
remember the name, but I can't. It's I thought it was Mistress of Novices.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
but then she encounters a lot of people who are starting to support her, but then she goes into the dream,
Hmm.
and she's able to communicate to the other White Tower, not to rescue her, because she's able to do some work in their favor here. And they reluctantly accept, and then eventually she has to be Elida's new maid, basically. That she has to wait on Elida, and
Yeah.
that must be, it's like,
Terrifying, and because they try their absolute best, everyone in the tower, to humiliate her. But that one part when she's carrying buckets of water up to the top of the tower, and she runs into, oh, I forget her name, Baowen, Baowen, I think it is,
yep.
and she sees her and she's like, you were the one who betrayed me, and Baowen just like
Oh yes, that's
froze,
right.
yes,
Because she
and
wanted to
she,
be an accepted, and she wasn't moving fast enough.
well, that's
And
Nicola, but we're talking about the Aes Sedai who the whole time was Aleda's,
yeah,
spy
oh yeah,
in
yeah,
the camp,
that's right. So many
and
characters, man. It's hard to
yeah,
keep track.
and immediately, I mean, the way Egwin turned that woman's, pride, and and basically made that woman start to pay penance for her crime against her, even though the whole time she was against Egwin, she's made that woman now start to pay penance. She says, "This is what you're going to do to pay penance," and the woman started out by insulting her as well. You're just an accepted. But by the end of that conversation, and it wasn't a screaming match, she was calling, Egwin mother again. And yes,
Yeah,
mother,
exactly.
absolutely mother. Yes, mother, I will do this, mother. And, I
Yeah,
mean,
no, Egwin, she's able to command respect, and I like that. And then hold on, I'm reading a little bit of the last piece about Egwin. Okay, so they agree not to rescue her. Romanda believes that there must be a way to pull out all the older novice, but she's forced to reconsider when she learns of Sharina's talent for the new healing, which is basically the new healing is that was Ninaev. She was able to use fire into the healing, so that's
little
she's able to
spirit,
heal
fire, wind,
the
and
bond.
yeah.
So now other I said are showing talent for that.
Hmm.
Um,
And none of the Aes Sedai believe in the tower that Leanne Sharif, who's in a prison cell with Egwin, right? They've
yeah,
imprisoned Leanne too. Is actually Leanne, the former keeper, the former keeper with Swan, right? And they're like, no, that can't be her. She has the power. And Egwin tells them, but she's been healed. And they're like, that's impossible. You still can't be healed. She goes, go ask her things only Leanne would know. If you don't believe me, it's fine. Don't believe me. Go talk to
yeah,
her yourself. And they do. But every day, when she talks to Leanne, she goes, look, I could barely get any sleep because they're always asking me questions. And
yeah.
how do I do this? And how did I do this? And how do I look so young now? And why did I choose the green? And
Oh yeah, yeah. Why did I choose the green?
yeah, because
Yeah,
she was a white.
yeah,
Formerly, she was a
exactly.
white.
She used to be a white. I like after that there's Marisa and Jahar arrived to the rebel Aes Sedai camp, and they offered to let them bond 47 as shaman, explaining that basically 51 Aes Sedai were bonded by Logain's man, and that they are willing to have Ashaman bond as warders to Aes Sedai.
Oh, at the end of the book when she
Yeah,
meets
telling them
Kane.
that
Oh
Satan is
yeah.
clean, and basically Lima, she has been remembered the connection between Anya and
Barbara comes out to be one of my favorite characters. So she's leading that red the Aes Sedai red team. She's a sitter, and they have one under. She
Yep.
has one other sitter with her, which are high status Aes Sedai. So people don't know sitters are like right below the Amerlin seat. Okay, so there's the Amerlin seat all the way at the top. Then you got the keeper. Then you got the sitters. But between there somewhere, you've got the head of the Ajah is really what they call him, the head of the Ajah. So somewhere in there, in between there, the head of the Ajah commands everybody else except for the Amerlin seat. But uh, um, and so Pavara is one of them. And in the next few books, she becomes she's a relatively new character, but she's been introduced before, but only had bit roles and name drop here and there. But she becomes one of the most interesting characters because of her bond with in the next book. I won't spoil it anymore, but she gains an ability that is never before heard of, thanks to what happens in the next book, and it's going to be great. So
Yes,
yeah, it's
I
going to be
remember that.
yes,
And then one thing throughout the book, the world, is that now ghosts and bubbles of evil are more common.
yes.
They happen.
That one point, remember when Matt and them are riding and they come to a village and they see these spirits, and suddenly this entire village starts sinking into the ground, and there's
Yeah,
a
at
settler.
first it looks all good, but then somebody screams, "Don't touch these people," or like somebody gets an intuition that this is wrong, and then the it just starts sinking. I've actually used something similar, that concept of a village of ghosts. I've actually used that in a Dungeons and Dragons game. That
Wow,
mixed with, there's another village where they come where uh,
people are all
everybody
nuts.
just kills each other each night.
Yeah.
I've used in a Dungeons and Dragons game because I
Nice.
thought it was such an original concept. So I had my player character go into a village and repeat the same scenario because none of my friends read those books,
Hmm.
and I did that, and they lost a person that they were escorting was actually killed. So they failed their quest because that guy was stuck in that village now. So they had to find a way to. I did build it in a way that it could be uncursed,
Hmm.
so that they could resolve something. So that was really interesting.
Yeah, it's such a great moment too. Now you start talking about it, I remember. Yeah, it's because
I love what
every
Matt's
single
gonna
night.
do with that village, though.
Yeah,
At
these
the
these
end,
people in this village go berserk on each other and just kill everybody in on site and everywhere, and burn down the houses and everything. Just
yeah.
but the next morning when they wake up all in their own beds. Everybody's fine. The buildings are fine. Everything is fine. However, if they kill a stranger in the city, now the stranger becomes or the
And they
traveler,
don't
then
know.
they
They don't
become
know
a
why.
yeah.
Nobody knows why, and nobody's been able to fix it. That's probably the only loose end in this whole thing.
Hmm.
Like that, this was never fixed.
You're right. You're right. It was never fixed. Yep. It was
So,
never fixed.
but I don't remember if is that as that at this point in Knife of Dream, has that already happened, or is this going to happen?
No, that's already happened. That was when
It's
Moraine, they
okay.
were still traveling with Moraine.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
or no, this is when they were traveling with Rand and them through the ways, about to travel through the ways. They come out of one way and
No,
there's
no,
this
no. Is
village.
it? Rand wasn't there.
Yeah.
It was just Matt. Matt was
No,
traveling with the band. Or is it Rand? Oh man, I have to go back now.
you might be right. Wow, it's been a
I
while.
think it's Matt.
You might be right. You might be right. Because I thought it was Rand for some Rand and
It could
Moraine
be.
one.
It could be because that's well. There's two. There's the village of undead. Are people massacring each other? That's Matt because
Okay,
he's the one who
you're right.
who,
And the
who
other one is
did
with
the.
Rand.
But
Yeah.
the ghost one could be either Perrin or Matt. It might be Rand. So anyway, because I know Perrin is going to at some point try to find some good food, and it's going to be they're going to start seeing ghosts in a warehouse or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Well, you're right. Yeah. So,
But I
but
think that's the next book.
yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of great moments. There's a lot of battles in this book. A lot of fighting. A lot of character development. New
Yeah.
characters that were merely mentioned somewhere before have now started to come
But
to life in these books.
but we haven't seen the Golem yet. He's not back. We don't know where he is.
He's mentioned. He's mentioned.
He's
He's mentioned
mentioned,
in
but
that.
he hasn't found him.
Yep.
There's no fight with him again
Yep,
yet.
that yet because Tailmanes, when he meets Tailmanes tells him that there's been several murders reported in villages where the blood has been drained from the body, and Matt says, okay,
Yeah,
so he's still
that thing
chasing,
is after
he's
me.
still chasing me. So because I gave him that mark on his chest. Matt's referring to his when he
Yeah.
slammed his medallion into the you
So,
know
but I think next book, Gathering Storm, I think that's when Matt's gonna reach Gamlin. Yep,
hmm yep,
and
and that's
after
where
that
he
he's gonna go get Moraine. So man, that's gonna be such a good book.
yeah. Sanderson, I think his name.
Yeah,
Sanderson.
Sanderson's gonna pick up as of next book.
Yep. So everyone, I want to thank you for joining us for this new chapter, or the latest chapter, so to speak, of the Wheel of Time, Book 11, Knife of Dreams, and the first book review of 2023. We've got four books left to do, and then we'll pick up a series that
Five,
five. Okay,
because
five.
we have right now we're at Knife of Dream. We have Gathering Storm, Towers of Midnight, Memory of Light. Oh, yeah, you're right. Four with, yeah, sorry, five including this one. So it's
Yep,
four because then we have New Spring.
yep. New Spring, and which is basically a prequel that was written after the series was completed.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how that works, but
But I
it does.
remember when we started, did you wanted to start with New Spring, and I told you no.
Yep.
We have because of what it could reveal.
hmm
We have to do it afterwards. So
Yep. So, I hope everyone has enjoyed listening in, and if you join us later, thank you very much for watching us. And make sure you leave a comment. Please, absolute, please. Our like ratings are the absolute best here. Hit that like button, and it really, will help both me and Raz do more. I know he's got a book series in mind for the next series that we will review. It'll be a fresh series to me, so it'll be old to him and new to me, and we'll see how that works out. And we've talked a little bit about what to do, and he's recommended a book series that I just started reading on the side. We'll talk more about that after this series is completed, what that book series is, and just thank you so much for those who watched and who joined. Thank you so much, Raz, for joining me with this. This was
my
I
pleasure.
love doing this. I love doing this.
Yeah, me too.
I
We
love
don't
doing
get
it.
many views, but we do have some fun.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, we can just talk about these books all day long.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So above everything else, folks out there, be good to each other. Raz, take us out.
If thanks for stopping by. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Also, leave a comment. We love reading those. Keep coming back. We have more on the way. And remember, nothing in life gives you a right to be an asshole. Take care.